This is Keith Boggs. This is the inspection debrief for 3016th Louisville Drive or Louisville Drive. I've got about 130 pictures and several videos. First picture you see here is a picture of the front of the house. If it opens, there we go. Nothing necessarily wrong. That's just for the title page of the report. Eventually, I'm trying to figure out how to embed the video into this cover picture. So when you get the report, you actually just click on the cover picture and it will take you to the video.
Cool.
Haven't quite figured it out yet, but eventually I will. This is the approximate direction. So the house faces approximately directly east. Again, for example, that will be taken out of the report. I need that for me. The state requires it. This is the temperature I got here at the house. It hasn't gotten above 60, so we can't test the air conditioning unless it's above 60. But we were able to test the heat, and so we'll get to that in a minute. Again, this picture won't be in the report. This is up near the front of the house, and you see the flashing starting to lift there. They have a nail there. We need to stick another nail through there. Probably not going to hurt to put some additional sealant there. You don't want to get any wind-driven rains blowing up underneath or getting into the roof cover. That's just right here on the right side of the garage.
Okay.
These are some what are called starter shingles. Two things: the adhesive that's normally present if they bought the shingles with the adhesive on both sides, you can see it here. If they don't have that adhesive on both sides, they can actually cut the shingle in half and flip it upside down, and that puts adhesive on the bottom of the shingle, and it causes these shingles to stick together. So all of the starter shingles that I checked on, there's no adhesive there, so they're not sticking together. Now, right now, the roof is fairly new, it's in good condition, and it's very rigid. But as the roof ages, the shingles are going to become more flimsy, and they're going to be more subject to being windblown. You can sometimes get like a domino effect. The starter shingle gets blown up. It gets underneath the next shingle and blows the next shingle up. So you can't do. I didn't see any windblown shingles, but that's something that can happen down the road. The type of roof they installed here is a 3-tab roof. It's just a builder grade roof. Nothing special about it, and this is defect. It's common a lot in these shingles. These 3-tab shingles. There's different quality of 3-tab too. That's just more of the same, more pictures. This is a little hole in the soffit here, and there you can't tell, but there's actually I don't know if it was a rat or a squirrel, but when I came around the house the second time, I noticed some kind of vermin getting into the house. I think it was a squirrel. Yeah, I just caught it just for a second. So that needs to be. We don't want any vermin in there. Anything where rats or squirrels get in there. So that needs to be repaired. That's just right here on the right side of that front patio gable. These are again some more starter shingles. Now, these shingles are at the main roof cover. You can't see the adhesive is present, but this is another one of the defects you find with these 3-tab shingles is sometimes they never make they never bond. They never bond together. I'm licensed by the state, and one of the items that state says we have to call out is something called adhesion. And what that means is how well are the shingles sticking together? Are they adhering? And there's several locations they're not adhering. You can see the whole shingle lifting. And there's some other locations I'll get some pictures of where I can just lift up part of the shingle. So it's got part adhesion, part not adhesion. Of course, I don't check every shingle because it would take forever. But if it's present in the first few minutes of getting on the roof, it's likely present at other locations. So, but again, right now the shingles are very rigid, and there is no wind-blowing shingles. But that's something you need to think about.
So, is that something that you would consider repairing, or wait, or you just have to wait till
you can get a roofer up there. Probably about $500, $600 to have a roofer up there. He needs to make sure he spends some time up there looking around, because there's some of them are sticking, some are not. You just need to go around. I can tell by looking at the shingle, even if they're laying flat, you can just still kind of tell that I mean, these I just walked up to and touched them and they were loose. It's just from being on enough roofs. So a good roofer would be to find the majority of them. He may not find them all, or you could try to get the roof replaced. There's no hail damage on the roof, so that may be difficult to do. But I have seen. Are you working with the agent?
No.
Okay. Agents. I have seen some agents. I guess they have a relationship with some roofers, and I've seen roofs like this get replaced. That was just right in this section right here. That picture just showing the area that was doing all that lifting. This is another section. Again, you can clearly see no adhesion, no adhesive present. That's the adhesive right in there between that little gap. Now here are some of the. You see how that's one sitting flat, but you can just kind of tell.
Right.
That's what I'm talking
It's
about.
curling up the edge.
Yeah, just kind of just lifting a little bit. So, and this one is partially sticking, so it's sticking to probably about there. So getting a kid get a good roof up there, he could go around and just squeeze some roofing tar into there. These spots, just find these spots, and that's going to help make the roofs more rigid. That one's sticking pretty good actually. And that's here at the rake side of that front gable. This is more of the same.
So did they just not do a complete job when they put the roof in?
It's just a builder grade.
Okay.
It's a little bit better than it's not the crappiest, the cheapest 3-tab. Because those really bad ones, none of them ever stick. This one's got partial adhesion, which means it's a more decent of a shingle. Was that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
I'll put this around. Come on, flip around. Come on. There we go. Okay, so these are some nail heads, and they kind of covered them up with sealant. But you can see that this one's not covered very well, and it's starting to rust. There's some locations, you'll see some other pictures where the nail heads are rusting. So somebody needs to get up there when they do roof repairs and put additional adhesive on these nail heads, because those will, since they penetrate through the roof cover into the attic area, you want to have them covered up because over time could cause leaks into the attic. Is this the video? No. Oh, that's the location of that vent.
Okay.
Yeah. The stuff's still near the front. Here you can clearly see that nail head's rusting. And again, that's just the location of it. I also went around the camera when I took a video. I've got a video here in a minute. This is the new skylight. Looks like the flashing is old flashing though. So this looks like they just did the light part, because you can see some rusting, a little rust there. Just need to get some paint on that. Get some trim paint and paint it. That's all. There's a good picture of the rust. These nail heads were never even covered. It's important that these are covered. Insurance companies have been known to decline claims because this is considered an improper install, and they'll say they're not going to cover the claim because it was not installed right. That's the location. It's near the back of the house. This is just to remind me to tell you that the guttering is full of debris. That guttering needs to be cleaned out. And then this is the video, I think, yeah. It's about 2.5 minutes long, so I'm going to just play it for you. You can kind of get a good idea of the roof. We'll just play the whole thing. That way you have it for your recording. Oops. Back up. You may hear me huffing or puffing or blowing, breathing or something, just moving around. You can see it's in pretty good. The roof's in pretty good condition. You can see some of the shingles there that are. So it's just, you can tell it's kind of barely sitting up there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's how I tell. I kind of just get an angle and kind of look, and you can see, kind of tell. Not always. Most of the time you can find them just by looking at them. Okay, this is a video of the water meter. There was something running in the house when I first took this video. I do have a picture of the meter with the low flow indicator not moving, but this is how we identify supply leaks. So at some point, we want that to be sitting completely still and not moving. If there's any kind of leaks in the house, even a small, it's very sensitive. And it's something dripping out of the sink, a slow drip. This freaking thing will pick up that drip.
Okay.
Utility company does not miss a penny. Believe me. So I'll play this to show you what it looks like. So if you ever think you have a leak, before you call a plumber, this is something you can do yourself. Just go up to that meter box, open up that hole, and just stare at this. It's been around.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe I flushed the toilet, or I don't know if it stops here, but I did check it out later. I think I have another video of it sitting still.
I think running the dishwasher early on.
Yeah, it could be the dishwasher too. That's just the location of it. We're required to tell you where that's at. So that's where the meter and shutoff is. This is your double check valve for your sprinkler system. This is to protect from cross-contamination from non-potable water into potable drinking water. This is part of the valve handle that broke off when I was seeing if it was rusting or not. So these two little handles, it's something you can do yourself. This is a little screw. It's probably 50 cents each,
Okay.
a buck to fix this.
Okay.
That's the location of the double check valve. Many of the window screens are missing. I did see some in the attic. I didn't count them to verify that they're here. So not sure if they took the windows off because they were damaged, the screens off because they were damaged. Sometimes agents tell them to take them off, I guess. But so all the screens need to be replaced. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think pretty much all of them are missing. This is some delamination and some rotting of some of the trim at that same bay window there. You can see this separates. That's delamination. This isn't real wood. This is some kind of crappy composite that the builder originally installed. So some of this trim here needs to be pulled off and then replaced. It's pretty simple. It's something you could do here. See it's starting to delaminate up here. Same thing.
Some of that too.
Delamination. Yeah, that's just crappy wood, crappy product. And same thing here, separation. They have something now called Never Rot, which I put around all of my windows, and literally you'll never have to worry about this. It lasts forever. It'll be dead.
Okay.
That's just the location of it. Okay, so we did a termite report. Did not see any termites. Did not see any signs of any past treatment. The garage is very full, and the house, of course, is full. So there's some places we can't see. But this is what's called a conducive condition. There's vegetation growing up along the house, along the structure. If you're doing a VA loan or FHA loan, they're going to require that you remediate these conditions. Otherwise, they will not fund the loan. If you're paying cash or you're doing a regular conventional loan, they won't even care.
Okay.
More missing screens. This is a corner compression pop or crack. You do have an actual pop on the other side of the house. These aren't not structural. They're not structurally significant. They don't affect the performance of the foundation. They just need to be repaired. This is another one. So here we got one there. We got one there.
So is it just cosmetic?
Cosmetic. Now sometimes if you get a really, really big corner piece that pops off, it still doesn't affect the performance of the foundation, but what can happen is those bricks are now cantilevering over and they can come loose over time. Plus it leaves an opening. We can get rodents into the structural framing and possibly into the house. Again, this is more missing window screens. This is the water heater. Manufacturer's label. These two things are really just for me. This is my sticker showing that I did do an inspection. So if any termites show up during the next 12 months from when you close, you call this phone number here in Dallas. They'll come out and treat it for free.
Cool.
This is the drain pan terminating into the garage. Now, when they built this house, they were probably allowing them to do this. Today, they don't allow them to do this. It needs to terminate to the exterior of the structure. It's fine to leave it this way. Just remember, if you leave it this way, don't put anything of value in the garage. Because I've seen people put antiques or something expensive in the garage, and then the water heater discharges into the pan and ends up destroying something, or it could attract termites, whatever. So this is inside the garage, full of stuff everywhere. I mean, there's tons of stuff in there. You know, it looks like they're pretty conscientious people. I don't think there's anything hidden behind this stuff, but we don't know. So it's going to just say in the report, and the inspector couldn't see. There were many items the inspector couldn't see, and you need to consult with the sellers. The inspector said that there's stuff in the garage, and he couldn't see. Is there anything you guys want to tell me about? Anything you want to disclose to me?
Got it.
Was there anything you were looking for in the garage that you couldn't get to specifically?
No, I was able to get everything into the attic, to the panel box. You can see some of the garage floor. You know, I don't know if is there a giant stain there. You know, probably isn't, but
it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a video, I think. Yeah. Okay. So there's two tests we do of the garage door. We do a pressure reverse test. Put something in front of the door, see if it reverses when the door hits it, and then we do a check of the electronic eye. So this is a video of those two tests at both doors. So I'm going to play them for the recording. Should hit that can there and within a second if it reverse pretty quickly. If it crushes the can, then it's definitely not good. I'll stop.
Tell the kiddo to run fast if he's
Those
going underneath.
doors are very, only a quarter of horse, half a horsepower, but they can
Oh, yeah.
they can mess you up. It's my foot in front of the eye to show the eye works. And then the same test we do next door.
Okay, cool.
There's my foot. This is pictures just to remind you that you need to make sure you lubricate these wheels and the tracks and the chain. This looks like never been lubricated. So weightlifting grease is the best thing. So just get some weightlifting grease, spray a little bit on each wheel, spray some on each one of the tracks, and then when the door's going down, up and down, spray on this. You want to get the clear kind too. Spray on this chain here. It's going to quiet it down. It's going to make it last longer.
Okay.
This is the inside of the picture of the panel box to show that it did remove the cover, and there was nothing wrong with the inside of the panel box. There was a problem here though in a minute. I took this picture to verify the breakers at the condensers. So the two breakers there were a 30 and a 45. So we're going to get to the breakers, what the manufacturer says here in a minute. This is your attic unit, attic units. So just bear with me on that last thing. The south unit put in 23 years ago. It's probably, I mean, I've seen units last 40 years, 50 years. That's very unusual. Right around 25 years is when it comes to going to be close to replacing both these units. I do have a picture of the inside, a video of the inside of the burner compartment. Even though everything was running fine on the heat side, I'd recommend having an HVAC guy come out here for $150. You can have him evaluate the whole system. He'll do things that we don't do. Look at the coils, look at the heat exchangers. Some of those things are very expensive. Look at the compressors. Compressors $2,800. And coils $3,000. This is the video, I think. Yeah. So we're going to be looking at the inside of the burner compartment here in a second. The flames, we want nice blue flames, nice pronounced blue flames, with very little to no yellow or orange in there, and it looks fine.
Okay.
The units look good. This is the filter, which is clean. This is when it was installed, and it's a 20 by 30 by 1. This is the temperature blowing right off the plenum and on the supply plenum. 130 degrees, that's blowing good. This is that skylight area. I think it's a skylight, yeah. The insulation is falling. So see how there's insulation here? No insulation there. Actually, there it is right there. The insulation needs to be put back in place. This is a mechanical vent to put the venting into the attic. At the time, they were allowed to do that. Today, they don't. That has to go to the exterior. All venting. This is the next unit. Oh, that's just another area missing insulation. Same thing, other unit's 23 years old. And then here's the video of the inside. Nice blue flames.
Cool.
Your question?
So everything is old, but it looks to be in good condition.
Everything's, yes. Yep.
Okay.
Blowing hot air, blowing hot. The color of those flames, it's got good combustion. Again, I don't know what the heat exchanger looks like, but it would be hard to imagine that the heat exchanger would be in bad shape and it'd be heating well.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Can't guarantee you that, but. And this is the filter, 20 by 30 also okay. Installed last week, it looks like, or the other day. There's the heat up blowing off of that one. So it's blowing good. This is we're talking about the compression crack. This is a corner pop where the piece actually popped off. They haven't repaired it. It's not hurting anything. That's just where it's located. These are your two condensers. These are really just for me, but there's one thing here we're going to talk about. Okay, so the max breaker is a 20. The pictures I showed you earlier, they had a 30 and a 40. So one of the breakers is wrong. So it needs to be switched out. That's a fire hazard, could damage the equipment, and if you had a home warranty, you could void the warranty. If the warranty guy came out here and was going to replace this and happened to go into the panel box and say, oh, you guys got the wrong breaker, we're not going to pay for it. Which they do. That's the manufacturer's label.
Is that an easy thing to do to replace the breaker?
Electricity, it's easy. It's super easy to do, but if you're not comfortable with electricity, don't do it yourself.
Yeah.
Because you'll die.
Yeah.
And it's super easy to do. I mean, the electrician will charge you probably $300 to do it. It'll take like 3 minutes.
The hardest part is buying it at Home Depot.
Finally, right, yeah. And it should match. Just make sure they always match with the GE. So they should all be GE. And make sure you turn off the main power, back the top lug, the main shut off. When you shut that main shut off, anything below that shut off is dead. Still keep in mind those wires above that shut off. That's 200 amps.
Yeah,
it's still alive. This is when they first built the house, the engineer screwed up and they had the bricks cantilevering over the brick ledge on the foundation, and they put what's called a parch coat here. This parch coat has fallen off. So now those bricks are just kind of hanging on there. They at some point may fall off because it's the code says 2/3 of the brick should bear on the foundation, and I put my finger about that far into the brick. Those bricks are just barely hanging on there. This is the water pressure of the house. The range is 40 to 80, and it's a little bit above 70, which is fine for this house. This is the vent hood, and this is actually a fresh air intake vent hood for the fireplace, and it's got damage that needs to be repaired. That's something you can do yourself. It's probably $3. This is showing a little bit of structural movement, some cracking inside this mortar joint, both sides of the front patio, and here, and in there. Not structurally significant. Now you can hire somebody to repair this. It's called repointing. Just keep in mind, if he's not a good mortar guy and he puts the wrong color mortar in there, it's going to look a different color, which may stand out more than
the crack.
The crack may not be noticeable. Yeah.
Okay.
This is showing also some structural movement inside the structure. Again, not structurally significant. We're here in North Texas. It's normal to have this kind of stuff. That's just above outside the master there. This one you can't tell, but this is also the same stuff. Oh, those are nail pops. I'm sorry. Nail pop, nail pop, nail pop. In this case, that's not structural. Okay, so this is probably the biggest thing in the house. I'd say if there's going to be a cost, if having failed windows bothers you, it will increase your electricity bill, but there's a bunch of failed windows. So this is in the master. These two top windows are failed. So that means the gas that's in there that makes them energy efficient has escaped. And so now they're no longer energy efficient, and they'll just keep on getting foggier and foggier and foggier until you eventually can't even see through them. This is in the master. They need to get some caulk in here. That's something you guys can do right along there.
Yep. I noticed that today.
Yeah. This is very hard to turn. I got it on. When I went to turn it off, I couldn't get a grip on it. I had to put my glove back on. That valve is very tight. That needs to be replaced or adjusted. It's probably tight because it was probably leaking, and they tightened it up to make it quit leaking, but now you make it too tight and you can't use it. So
is that in the master?
Master. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is again some cracking repair. Right there, and there's one more crack. Right there.
Okay.
Neither there or there. Neither one are structurally significant. Okay, this is in that back, the side bedroom there. House faces east, right, or west. This is the